Welcome to another episode of Bears News Network. I'm your host, Mike Anderson, where we talk Chicago Bears sports like Chicagoans do, man. So if you're a Chicago Bears fan, hit that subscribe button, join the Bears News Network family. We appreciate all the love and support. In this episode, we're going to get into the Chicago Bears victory over the North Carolina Panthers and how this team is starting to gel overall. So, man, excited to talk about it. We're going to get into all that right here, right now on Bears News Network. Welcome back to another episode of Bears News Network. Like we said, if you're a Chicago Bears fan, hit that subscribe button, like, comment, interact with us. We want to hear back from you guys and see how you guys feel. We're going to get into the Chicago Bears beat the North Carolina Panthers 33-10, man. And when you look at this game overall and see how all cylinders was clicking on all phases of the team's offense, defense, special teams. Granted, a lot of people say it's the North Carolina Panthers, but man, it's any given Sunday in the NFL, and any team can lose at any time, no matter how bad you are or how good you are. We seen over this past weekend. So still big shout out to my Chicago Bears for pulling through with this win and coming through on all phases of the ball game. And when you look at this team and the development of how it continues to get better, one interesting stat with Caleb Williams, in his 5 games, he's thrown for over 1,000 yards, which is a franchise record just in 5 games. And we could start to see the development over Caleb Williams' growth over these next few weeks. We're starting to see him get a little bit more comfortable, get the ball out quicker, less turnovers, know where he wants to go with the ball, and have an understanding of this offense. I know a lot of people was, did we make the right decision and panicking? But I told you guys, give it just a little bit of time, and we could start to see the progress over the weeks, and that's what's starting to happen. Even though it took him a little longer than usual, and some may say that Jaden Daniels is looking like he's more progressing better than Caleb Williams, but we have to give it time with these rookie quarterbacks. And when you look at the Bears offense here on the graph as well, you see Caleb Williams, he was 20 of 29 attempts, 304 passing yards. He had 2 touchdowns. He had 0 interceptions. And then he had a 126.6 rating. And then we look him and DJ Moore finally starting to get that chemistry built with them when you have DJ Moore going for 5 receptions, 105 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns. DJ Moore with 2 TDs of 30-plus yards, and that's the most since Alshon Jeffrey in 2013. I don't know if you guys can see it right there at the bottom of the screen, but that's what that is. That's the most since Alshon Jeffrey since 2013. So we can see the chemistry between DJ Moore and Caleb Williams is starting to develop as well. And that's a good sign. When you look up here, 0 turnovers. 0 turnovers the last 2 weeks. That's a big, huge difference from the first 3 weeks that he had. So you can see that the development and the growth is starting to show. Also, when you look at another stat with Caleb Williams in his first 4 weeks of 15-yard plus throws, and that's one thing that I noticed with Caleb, those downfield long gimme throws was starting to be a problem. His accuracy was not just quite there yet during the first few weeks. You see 15-yard plus throws. He was 5 out of 31 attempts, 0 touchdowns, and that 3 interceptions and an 8.9 passer rating compared to just week 5 when you see along against the Carolina Panthers, who was 4 attempts on that, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and a 158.3 passer rating. So we could see the development of Caleb Williams. We could see the growth that he's growing. And it's good to see. Like I said, you have to give it time with these guys. Everybody was pushing the panic button. We should not have pushed the panic button. It just take these guys time. And you can see Caleb Williams is starting to get it, which is a good sign. Now, when we look at what this defense has been doing, man, The Chicago Bears defense is ranked third in takeaways over the Minnesota Vikings and the Green Bay Packers. They have 11. The Vikings have 13, and I think Green Bay had 14 takeaways on this total on the season. So it's tough, man. Our division, with all the people in the division that has over a 500 record, we the only division teams that's all in one division that have over a 500 record, man. It could be crazy if everybody in the NFC North could make the playoffs. That would be wild. It could happen, man, because all of us are over 500. Still a long season to go and see how the rest of the season fares out. But just the Bears being ranked third in takeaways in 2024 is a huge sign. When we look at also what the defense did, big shout outs to Kevin Byard, 29 interceptions since 2017, which is tied for the most in the NFL. So we could see that bringing him over this offseason, replacing Eddie Jackson, was a good fit. It's looked like he's fitting in with this defense very, very well. And big shout out to Kevin Byard for getting his first interception on the year and joining that secondary. Now everybody in that secondary has interceptions. When you look at the Bears defense and how they fared in this game as well, you can see the Bears only allowed 10 points to the Panthers. They had 4 sacks, 3 takeaways, and 2 fumbles and 1 interception. And out of those total 3 takeaways, both of those resulted in 2 of a touchdown and 1 of a field goal. So we can see those takeaways when the defense have been taking the ball away the first few weeks. The offense haven't quite been able to score points off of it, but it's good to see that the defense hard work is starting to pay off with those takeaways and that the offense is now starting to punch the ball in and capitalize off those takeaways. But big shout out also Jaquan Brisker, man. This was Cootie breakout candidate at the beginning of the season. 17 tackles over the last 2 weeks, 1 sack, 1 interception, 1 forced fumble. Jaquan Brisker has been a bright spot on this defense, no doubt about it. And big shout out to him, man, solidifying himself in the secondary. He wants to be a Pro Bowler as well. And at the rate that he's keep going, I hope Jaquan Brisker can make that happen. Also, big shout outs to Big Dex, Big Gervon Dexter. He has 4 sacks in 5 games, and he leads defensive tackles in sacks right now. And remember, his goals for the year was to have 10 plus sacks, 10 TFLs, 10 plus QB hits, and then also to be able to be named All Pro or Pro Bowl. So he's on his projective to make that happen right now. So big shout out to Dex. But question of the day for everybody that I want to know, who has the biggest impact on this team? Is it Jaquan Brisker or Gervon Dexter? That's today's question. I want to hear from you guys. Who has the biggest impact so far in 2024? I want to hear from you guys. So get your thoughts right underneath the video. Like we said, if you're a Chicago Bears fan, we appreciate all the love and support. Hit that subscribe button. Join the Bears News Network family. We appreciate the love. So that concludes this episode of Bears News Network. Like I said, I'm your host, Mike Anderson. Hit that subscribe button, join the family, and like me and Cootie always say, bear down and be safe, Chicago.